Hello, my name is Jessie Stout. This is my week 5 Trace the Path PowerPoint presentation. It's Friday night and James has nothing to do. He looks outside and sees his neighbor Sarah building a fire in her backyard. James decides to go over to help her. James has always thought she was so pretty, and she was always so nice to him and he enjoyed hanging out with her. James and Sarah are sitting around the fire on a bench Sarah's dad has made. James decided to scooch closer to kiss Sarah. Sarah's pretty nervous at this point. She's not really sure how to respond. She's always liked him, but not more than friends. Sarah told him to stop, but James didn't want to. He got angry when she denied him, and he stood up and pushed her backwards off the bench. James got on top of her and held her down while he put his hands down her pants. Sarah screamed for him to get off her, but he refused for approximately 5 minutes until Sarah's father heard her screaming from inside. Sarah's father ran out and pushed James off. James got up and ran home. Sarah called the cops. So, for our juvenile side, how the courts work is the officer will first take the initial report. In this scenario, I felt the juvenile wouldn't be booked into a detention center, but more released back with his parents. Once the officer generates a report, he turns it into the prosecuting attorney's office. The prosecuting attorney will determine whether or not he does feel like there's a case, and if there are, they will petition the juvenile court. The court will make contact with the juvenile and his parents with a hearing date. The court will decide whether or not the juvenile should be charged as a minor or an adult. This process is called a waiver. If the juvenile is charged as a minor, they'll be placed on some type of probation. And typically they are placed in a treatment program, counseling. The court will decide whether or not the case will be expunged on completion of the programs. In some cases, there have been where juveniles have been placed on the sex offender registry once they turn the age of 18. In 2006, the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act was signed into law. This act has requirements and provisions that have long-lasting effects on the lives of juveniles. Today, the juvenile system still remains rehabilitation as its primary goal and distinguishes itself from the criminal justice system in important ways. With a few exceptions, in most states, delinquency is defined as the commission of a criminal act by a child who is under the age of 18 at the time. Most states will allow youth to remain under the supervision of juvenile court until the age of 21. I don't want to say not in Michigan. I guess I don't really know, but I know in Newaygo County, the age is 17. And once they do turn 18, they will be bound over to adult. So, instead of that minor going to prison or jail, juvenile court draws from a range of legal options to meet both the safety needs of the public and the treatment of the youth. Unlike adult criminal proceedings, juvenile court hearings are often closed to members of the public, and records are often confidential, protecting children from carrying out burdens from their delinquent activities into their adulthood. However, despite what many people believe, juvenile records in most jurisdictions are not automatically sealed or expunged. Educational and therapeutical programming may be provided in the child's community, or the child may be placed out of the home in a residential program. Now, in Newaygo County, I do know that all of the DL cases or juvenile cases are closed to the public. It's funny because just today, a member of the public wanted to sit in, and I had to tell her no. The referee did allow her to, but that's beside the point. Okay, so that's the how the juvenile system court works. Now here's the adult side of the court. Similar in the same process as the juvenile court. Starting out, the officer would take the initial report. In this incident, I believe the officer would probably have arrested James and booked him into the jail. Um, I'm sure there's many charges he could have done. I went with sexual assault. James would sit in jail and wait for court. In Nuevo County, our criminal court runs on Mondays and Tuesdays, alternating each week. James will be sitting in jail until he gets bonded out. The prosecuting attorney will determine whether or not he believes that there's a case. If there is, the court will set another hearing called a pre-trial to determine whether or not the case is to be bound over to circuit court as a felony. Um, Once the pre-trial is set, the judge is going to look over a PSI. A PSI is a pre-sentencing report. Basically, that's the whole background of the adult. It will tell you everything that he's done in his past. It's super beneficial because that's how the judge structures their sentencing and make sure that their sentencing is fair and in the eyes of the court. For the rehabilitation part of an adult, it's not considered the primary goal. And I don't want to say because they're already too far gone. It's just, it, they feel like the adults respond better with a different type of punishment. Um, the criminal justice system, which operates under the assumption that criminal sanctions should be proportional to the offense, deterrence is seen as a successful outcome of punishment. I feel like every case is different. I don't feel like that's necessarily true. Um, I, Everybody's different. You can't make somebody change if they don't want to. Down here, I have a picture of how the juvenile court breaks down their juvenile system. It's similar to the adult system, just different meanings behind the hearing. And this concludes my assignment. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.